Hello, this is Bob Petersen with Statewide Real Estate in Escanaba, Michigan, and welcome back to UP Sustainable Living. In the last video, we talked about what easements are and the different types you may see when buying land. Today, we're going to talk about the next important question. How do easements actually affect you as a landowner? Because while most easements are completely normal, they can sometimes change how a property can be used. Before we get too far into this, I also want to mention a couple of things I'm working on. I'm in the process of building a new website for UP Sustainable Living, and it should be up within the next few weeks. I'm also working on some helpful real estate guides to make it easier for buyers and sellers to understand things like land, access, soils, easements, and other important topics here in the Upper Peninsula. So if that sounds useful to you, stay tuned. There's more coming. So, where can you build? One of the biggest ways easements can affect land is where you are allowed to build. For example, if a property has a utility easement running through part of it, you typically cannot build permanent structures inside that easement area. This might include things like houses, garages, cabins, or septic systems. So before building, it's important to know where easements are located on the property. Easements can also affect driveways and access. If your property uses an access easement across a neighbor's land, you have the legal right to travel across that route. But sometimes the easement will specify things like the exact width of the road, who maintains the road, whether utilities can be installed along it. Understanding these details can help avoid problems with neighbors later on. Another common question involves road maintenance. If several properties share the same easement road, the property owners often share responsibility for things like grading, snow plowing, and repairs. Sometimes this is written directly into the easement agreement. Other times, simply handled through cooperation between the neighbors. Here in the Upper Peninsula, a lot of land is used for hunting and recreation. Easements usually do not prevent you from using your land for things like hunting, trail riding, building a camp or cabin. But it's still important to know where people may legally cross the property, especially during hunting season or when you have equipment on the land. Why title work matters. This is one of the reasons why title companies research easements before closing. The title work will show recorded easements, access rights, utility rights of ways. Your real estate agent can help you explain how those might affect the property. Real world tip. One thing I always recommend to buyers is this: walk the property carefully. Look for old two-track roads, utility lines, power poles, worn trails. These can sometimes indicate existing easements or long-term access routes. If you're looking at buying land in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, understanding things like easements, soils, and access can make a big difference in choosing the right property. I'm Bob Petersen with Statewide Real Estate in Escanaba, Michigan, and this is UP Sustainable Living, where we talk about buying and selling land, rural property, and sustainable living in the Upper Peninsula. Thanks for watching.